Because we really have to know how the developer came about and how he got, and you said you have reported to the EFCC and
there have been a lot of activities to look into the case. SSS.
Is it an individual or a company?
No, again, let me put it this way, Sulaiman, and I don't want to preempt what will happen because I'm not in the public. We're also having a National Executive Council meeting coming up on Wednesday. These are part of the issues that we discussed. We had a meeting with our veterans, attended by the founding fathers of the Congress, the first president of the NLC, Secretary General, second president, Alichi Roma, Adam Soshomole, who's the last president, and a large meeting with the NAC. And this is part of the issues we discussed. One of the resolutions is that we must also have internal inquiry. Who brought this developer? What were the details? I mean, how was it done? And we have to do our internal cleansing before we also go and make legitimate claims, And this is economic crime. We need to get it prosecuted. But the one I can say here is that, this is a luxury to the subscribers. What they are looking for is their money, their resources. And I want to assure you that the process for that refund is on. And we must get it.
It is interesting that you say you're going to have an internal inquiry, because a lot of people will be looking to see whether or not the NLC would follow through with that inquiry. They will be interested to see who are those who are trying to sabotage the name of the NLC. You can't be involved in this kind of scandal and then later on you say you want to fight for Nigeria. It's a major issue.
No, it is. It is.
So as much as possible, we can only hope that you would follow through on that. But has there been rancor between or within or amongst the leadership of the NLC? Is all well at home at that level?
No, I'm not. I don't really think, as I've said, let's follow what the procedure looks like.
Why?
And with that procedure is that we've had our National Administrative Council meeting. We're going to have our next meeting. Regardless of the internal stress and rancor we have, we are united to get justice and fairness for the subscribers.
I think this is very important, what you just said. But again, is there land really?
Yeah. Again, I've told you, Suleiman, that the devil is in the details. In fact, that's part of the scandal. That at the time we're about to do the land breaking, what do you call it? Groundbreaking. It was at that point we discovered that the guy did not even have certificate of occupancy. We were alarmed. The federal minister, Minister of Federal Capital, did all the due diligence. I discovered that the guy did not even have certificate for the land he was going to do groundbreaking for, on the eve of the groundbreaking, which ought to have been done by the president. But again, I've told you that the devil's in the details, in terms of the process. And for me, the lesson here is that, and I think FCC had a list of us of funny developers in FCT who go up, and I thought these are things that we ought to have checked. We have to do proper due diligence, and I think the internal mechanism of the NLC, administrative inquiry I'm talking about, we look at all those details. How do we arrive at this? And I think that will be made known to all Nigeria. But above all, I've told you, this discussion is purely academic. To those subscribers, I saw that day, what they want is their refund back, or they have the houses delivered to them. And don't forget, some of them even borrow money. They are running interest. So when you talk about interest refund to them, they're already paying interest. So borrow money. So it's legitimate that we quickly address that. And as far as we are concerned, that's primarily on the agenda. What we need to address now.
The people see the NLC as their own. And so they also have the impression that the NLC is transparent. But to the question that Mark did ask about the leadership of the NLC, and from your response, it does appear as though they're divided.
No, let me put it this way. I think, first, this is not in our character. This is not the NLC we know. You have to get it clear. This is an exception to the Congress, which, with loud voice, will fight, for the oppressed. One of the things that gave some of us the moral courage to address those subscribers, and I told them, I said, when we had the immigration, the Ministry of Internal, employment scam, in which applicants were being asked to pay a lot of money. We demonstrated, we condemned it, extorting applicants. I mean, we can extort subscribers who are looking for legitimate accommodation. So I want to say that there's unity of purpose within us to make sure that we put this behind us, and we should start with refund of the money of the subscribers. Above all, return to due diligence and processes. And honestly speaking, talking about the botched election is the same crisis we have.
Yeah, before we come to that part,
to our due process.
When you go through, you set up your internal mechanisms to look at this matter. Has it happened before? What kind of procedures or disciplinary processes do the people expect?
Again, all those issues will come up at the neck that I'm talking about, and I don't think we should prevent it, because we resolved this just last week, that we need to look at internal mechanism, and you can't even ask relevant agencies, EFCC and co, to look into it when you yourself have not done internal proper check to find out who's responsible for it, and who's debranding the NLC, because this is a brand. I mean, the Congress, the only thing we are selling is our moral authority. You know, I mean, and as you say, Mwepe, you can't talk of accountability, transparency from any section of government, even if you're an employer, when you can't simply practice one. So this is not partial commitment, it's total commitment. And I want to say that the process is on to get it done.
Well, you would agree, it looks like an insider job. No one will come from the outside and infiltrate the NLC and cause people pain.
No, I mean, we're all on the same page of this. That's why I've called it spade. This is an exception to our conduct. You know, I mean, this doesn't reflect who we are. You know, and I think the only solution that, what will make us to assure all Nigerians, and above all, don't forget we're also accountable to our own members, you know, because it's all in our names. And it came up at the delegate conference, really. In fact, one of the stormy sessions we had was on this before the election. Because after the treasurer presented the financial account, some delegates insisted, no, you can't have an account that doesn't tell us what's going on about Chris Lani account. You know, and I think we also referred to that it was already contained in the National Executive Council report. So what I'm saying here is that we are concerned internally to also find out at the root of this, and we'll make it known to all Nigerians.
Is there a timeline?
I've told you we're meeting on, we're having national administration, a NEC meeting on Wednesday.
Well, we're looking forward to when you will tell all Nigerians, because yes, we know that you're accountable to your workers, but the truth of the matter is many more people are following this story than you think.
I have no doubt in my mind that it will be one of the top issues.
It will be one of the top issues that you will discuss, but we want to know when exactly you'll be telling the Nigerian people what you found out, the results of the inquiry that you'll be holding, what exactly the meat of the discussion, you think you'll have a press briefing afterwards?
We can't wait a day longer. We cannot wait a day longer to put this behind us. So I'm saying it has to be as soon as we meet, which is coming up next Wednesday.
Because information out there is that the money is about 4 billion naira for 3,800 subscribers.
We have to find out the details. I think it's about 2.6 billion. But you know, with the interest rate, maybe the sum is keep on changing. But again, those are the details. The administrative inquiry that we have to get and inform NEC about it next Wednesday. Yeah.
Okay, but let's then play this report, because I mean, when people were looking after that NLC election and what they saw, I remember I thought maybe this was one election in one with those politicians or something similar to that, but no, it was actually that of the NLC. And let's even go back to it now.